Hello, hello. Welcome to our new series, Real Talk with Real People, Spiritual Talk for Spiritual People. I love you guys so much. I'm so excited about this series, and I'm so excited for lots of different reasons. I feel like it's going to give me an opportunity to actually like get to know you guys individually, more personally, like if you choose to like want to be on this series. And I think that also, we all know, we all kind of feel that there's another big awakening, big wave kind of coming. And so I feel like these will be really helpful. Okay. And these videos are going to just be kind of, I'm just going to let you all kind of just feel and speak on whatever you feel guided, right? So it could be tips, tricks, practices, stories, miracles, whatever it is. Okay. So I'm really excited. I wanted to start this series actually with a story about how it's crazy how um, God works and can really shift things if you just follow your guidance. Okay, and also it's crazy, you know, God does things in very unexpected ways and takes you to very unexpected places for reasons. And so yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and start the series off with, something from me, an experience that I had. Um, because honestly, I had recorded a couple of these and none of them really felt right. And I just kind of let it go. I was like, well, and then of course, like right on time, of course, because God delivers right on time all the time. Okay. um, there, I now have this story, right on time. So last week, on Friday, okay, excuse me, um, I it was kind of I wouldn't say it was like a rough day, but it was like energetically it was kind of a heavy day. Okay. Um and I was wrapping up my day, and I received a phone call. Actually I think I had a couple more personals that I needed to do personal readings. Yeah. And I received a phone call from Zyla's school that she doesn't even attend anymore. Something that was brought to the principal about her um, mental health. Okay, I'm not gonna spread her business out here because that's just not who I am. But um, it was something that really kind of put my heart in my stomach. Okay, and 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 then like not and so I'm like I'm really breathing through that in that moment, right? I'm really kind of breathing through it and just kind of like praying and speaking to God and just like, man, God, I've learned how to climb over lots of walls, scale walls, climb over walls, break through walls, and I'm not sure that I have what it takes to do this one. And then in that same moment, Michael had been sick and suddenly he just got sick everywhere. And so, you know how, like, that's not a big deal, right? Like, I'm a mom. How many times have I cleaned up, all of that? Millions of times. But in that moment, right, it was just like, oh, breathe. And suddenly I just like kind of like dropped to my knees and I heard, go get out of town, get out of town, go on a trip, go on a trip. Okay. So I'm like, all right, okay, all right. It didn't really make sense completely financially. I mean, like, in my mind, right? It didn't make sense financially. I'm like, well, okay. You know what I mean? But again, it's one of those things that God, when it doesn't make sense, oftentimes it is coming straight from God. So I get on Airbnb.com because that's usually what I like to use because we like to go to like tiny homes and like go out into nature and things like that rather than like staying at hotels, especially because we take Maui, him goes with us on our trips. Um, And so I get on Airbnb and I'm scrolling through, and I'm really drawn to this one area. But again, I was like kind of like looking at price range, and they had like a little cabin that was affordable, but I was like, well, let's just look around because it was also like 4 hours away. So I was like, let's look around, see if there's anything like a little bit closer. Well, I found something that was a little bit closer, and and I I'm like, I went to go swipe on the pictures to look at it. And all of a sudden, it like swiped back over to which, if you've ever been on Airbnb, that's not supposed to do that. It's not, it's just supposed to show you the pictures. Okay. It's not supposed to swipe over to like another property, but it did. It swiped right back over to a property that I had looked at, that area that I was drawn to. So I was like, okay, all right. That's what we're doing here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so we went ahead and we booked it, right? I wanted to book it because it was already kind of later in the evening, so I wanted to book it for the next day to give us time or whatever. But even like the booking was like, no, you get out of town right now. Leave right now. So so we did. We packed everything. I booked it for that night and the next night so we could be back on Sunday. And we did. We got out of town. And this and during the time that we're driving, right, I'm having serious conversations with God, really talking to the divine, my higher self, and just really kind of, again, just like, God, I don't know how I'm gonna get over this wall. This is a really tall wall, and it's also, a wall that I had part in building. As a parent, we've got to take accountability for the things that our children experience. And we also need to know, too, that they did choose their own experience, and that we can't, control everything, but there is part of this, you know, part of it is also taking accountability. Okay. So it's a very fine line, right? And doing what you can to shift the current experience, change the current reality. So, anyways, so we get to the cabin, love it, love this place. It's like got this big gate, okay? And you like go in, and it's gated. The whole thing is like fenced in because there's like all these animals that they have, like deer and antelope and like I think they had bison, maybe even like buffalo. I don't know. They had lots of animals there though. We saw deer while we were there. That's all that we saw. But it was on the, I mean, the property was huge. They had a couple of cabins, they had tree houses, they had like lake cabins, they had a lodge. Like it was a big place. Okay. Um, so we get there Friday evening. We kind of, all load in and snuggle in and get to rest. Okay. And then Saturday we get up. I get up decently early and kind of the cabin had a washer and dryer. So, and that was one of the things because I was that was part of like the planning because I had realized like I need to do laundry. Like that's why I went away the next day because I was like I need to do laundry, I need to clean out the van, all this stuff. And the divine was like, no. So that place had a washer and dryer. So I'm like, okay, well I'll just take whatever clothes and I'll just wash them there. No big deal. So Saturday morning, yeah, I started a load of laundry, and for whatever reason, this washer will not drain. I had tried every single setting and the washer would not drain. And there was like no, like my washer has a drain spin cycle that you can just go to. It was not even an option. So I had to get a hold of the people that own this place. Um And I was just like, hey, like I don't know what's going on. Is there like a trick that I'm missing? Like is there something special about this washer? Like maybe it's older, maybe you gotta like kick it on the right side. No, I'm joking. I don't know. Is it? And she was like, I don't know. So anyways, so she comes to check it out and she's like, yeah, I have no idea what's going on with this. And so together, she and I are just talking and together we are, wringing out these wet ass clothes so that we could dry them, okay? Like she offered to take them up to like the other cabin and like run a full cycle and I was like, honestly, I've been washing these clothes for hours. I think they're probably fine. So, I um yeah, we put them all in the dryer and she and I are just talking and it was really rainy and I was like, we're really enjoying it out here. It's so nice and peaceful. We really needed this um and she was like, well, actually, there's this place called Fern Cliff Park. Okay. And mind you, a few days before, I had actually channeled something that said there might be something significant about ferns. So my mind is like lit up, okay? Lit up, okay? So I'm like, okay. So she tells me where it is. She said there's a waterfall there and it's absolutely beautiful when it's raining. I'm like, okay, cool. That's perfect. So, because we love trails, we love all that. So, we kind of wrap up everything and whatever, and she's talking and before she leaves, she gives me this big old hug. And she's like, just let me know. And she's telling me about this other property that she has. And, next time that we want to take a trip, that we should go there. She's like, and there your dog can just run free. We've got like 14 acres and we don't have any other dogs. Your dog can just run, right? Like just like you don't even have to keep an eye on. Just let him run. And I'm like, that's amazing. She's like, it's, a cute little cabin. It's more private. It's all this stuff, right? She gives me a hug. She leaves. And so in that moment, right, and like nothing really had kind of like I didn't think anything of it. Um, I was surprised about her giving me a hug though. And so the kids and I eventually we went to the waterfall place. We didn't even make it to the waterfall because an instance happened with Maui. So we're in one weekend after a very powerful full moon. We are in our second instance where I have realized that as like a role model or as a parent or as a that I have dropped the ball somewhere along the line. Okay. Like Maui um, struggles with feeling safe around people. And a lot of that is my fault. Okay. Like um, people and other dogs, he's just not been socialized. I mean, we didn't bring him home until he was almost 5 months old, and he wasn't socialized before that. And then after that, I mean, I work from home. I don't know anyone in this town. I mean, I know a few people in this town, but I don't do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go anywhere. Like, I even like Instacart my groceries. Not that he go to the grocery, but like so ultimately what happened was my fault and because I had not so there was so many pieces to this weekend that I had realized because basically what happened is we were walking by this group of people. I was like, "Hey, how are you?" And all of a sudden, like Maui was doing good. I was so proud of him. I was so proud of him. And then all of a sudden, okay, I don't know what shifted. I don't know what happened, but he just kind of went, and there was a kid here, okay, like probably about Zyla's age, like, and he went to go like bite the child. And had I not reacted and that child's mother not reacted exactly how um as we did, I would have had like probably a whole lawsuit on my hands. Truly. And I'm being completely honest with you. You know, so and I could feel that family. I mean, they literally like waited on us to come back. They were walking back and we were walking towards, and I we didn't even make it to the waterfall because there was other people, and I was like, I'm not risking this again. Like we've got to get out of here. Like I can't risk anyone's safety because Maui doesn't feel safe. And I feel like also probably Maui was um granted, let me tell you though that those people had some pretty nasty energy because I felt myself, um, I felt them speaking negatively about me and about Maui. Um, like I felt my irritation rising, right? That's how I know when people are sending me or, you know, that's how I know when there is negative energy or thoughts or whatever coming towards me is when I feel irritated or frustrated because that's not a normal thing for me. Okay. If I have a short fuse, somebody's messing in my energy. That's what I know. That's my sure sign. So, I knew then because there was another instance where I was just like, man, I was just like, I've got to get out of here. I have got to get out of here. But sure enough, they were waiting for us to come back, right? They may have taken my license plate or something because, like, literally, they watched us get in a vehicle and pull away. You know what I'm saying? Like, they pulled away as soon as they saw what vehicle I got in. No big deal. No big deal. I'm not worried about it, right? Because nothing happened, um, and I take full accountability for all of it, for what my daughter was experiencing as well as Maui at that time. Um, and and it's like in these moments, right? It's not like God wanted to hurt me. And I feel like a lot of us sometimes feel like that. It's because God is trying to redirect your attention, your focus, to get you back on track. I had got so caught up in, now don't take this the wrong way. I love you guys, but I had got so caught up in giving to you collectively, um, that I was missing out on what was right in front of me sometimes. Um, and so, yeah, so that those moments were very scary and they were very frustrating. But after, so we get back and it's Saturday night, so we grab dinner, we go back to the cabin and we're kind of getting settled in, and Zaya and I are working through some stuff, and then suddenly I'm just like, I'm having all these downloads, right? All these realizations, all these things. And I'm realizing and I'm like releasing, and I'm also realizing that the owner that had previously hugged me uh, held the same healing energy that we do. And so, although in that moment, like this was a weekend of God showing me where I need to step it up, but also where I was not realizing my value, if that makes any sense. And it was this moment of, in the moment of taking full accountability of my actions or non-actions had just completely brought through this huge release and whatever blockages that may have been keeping me from being the mom and the dog mom that my heart truly desires to be. Um, Now, please don't get me don't take this out of context. I'm not I don't neglect my children or my dog, okay? They're all very loved. Um, because we have to keep in mind that, we literally we all have our own experience that we choose to go through. But I'm saying all this to say, and like the whole way home, right? Sunday morning, we get up, I'm cleaning up the place, getting packed up and things like that. And on the way home, just really again thinking about that hug and just really releasing. I'm just crying. I'm just releasing, okay? Um, and since then, there has been a huge shift in my household. Um, a huge breakthrough between my daughter and I, a huge breakthrough with Maui. Um, and I think that I say all this to say that even in our darkest moments, it's always God. It's always the divine serving you. So when we talk about like hoodoo, voodoo, magic, witchy poo stuff, okay. Which don't get me wrong, I love to do a cute little spell, but I wouldn't even call them a spell. It's just rituals that I do, and not to affect anyone else's energy. It's literally just to enhance my own healing. Um, but even when we are, even when God allows that to touch us, that's also serving us. It's like this story is a story that lets you know, one, that God took me 4 hours away so that I could experience and know what I do for others. And that is not coming from an ego because I truly didn't understand until that woman's hug. Okay. Like like she literally didn't have, she knew nothing. She said nothing about it. Like it was just her hug and her energy. Um, Also to say that even when things really fucking suck and they're shoved in our face, if you choose awareness and understanding rather than being the victim, you will have breakthrough. You will move forward. Um, I'm hearing something about priorities too, right? So some of you, it just may be just a reminder of priorities. We get caught up. We get so caught up in society and in creating um, and like I've a lot of it has to do with finances. It's like I also had a breakthrough with my finances this weekend because the reason that I would put so much, not only because like I love you guys, but also because like I have to maintain a lifestyle. Um, not it's not even like extravagant or bougie by any means. It's just a lifestyle that I've created for my children, and I have to maintain it, you know. And this is my only this is how I make, you know, I'm on, the divine payroll. And so, but this weekend really helped me put into perspective. Basically, it's not even, it basically just helped me realign my priorities. They had gotten a little jumbled up because fear probably got a little mixed in there. And I think that, there was a breakthrough in fear as far as that goes as well. So I don't, I feel like this story is possibly helpful somehow, but um, and I came back brand new, it feels like. To be honest with you, it's really interesting. So I'm trying to think if there was any other key points that I need to tell you. Um, I don't think so. So that's my little story for this very first real talk with real people. And honestly, I feel like this breakthrough probably had a lot to do with alignment, as I'm saying that's 2:22 on the clock, alignment with this series. So, there's just a lot of things. This spiritual journey, this ascension process, woo, it's like all in one weekend I had scary and dark, but loving and bright and enlightening and um, revolutionary moments. And so it's this energy of saying, don't attach yourself to those moments as they come through. Understand them, be aware of them. And if you don't know why it's happening, don't do the victim thing, right? Don't don't do that. Do the well, I don't know what you're doing, God, but I know that it's going to make sense when it needs to. And so always um yeah. So if any of you have a story that you'd want to tell or tips and tricks on this journey or whatever it may be, please reach out to me. I'd love to get you on a Zoom meeting and we'll record and we will be in service of others. So together. So anyways, as always, thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. I love you guys so very much. Um, thank you for holding space and allowing me to be vulnerable. And we'll talk soon.